After helping a certain halfling out with his ring, GanTav found himself helping out other unremarkable people to help defeat the never-ending evil that seems to pervade the world. Having defeated a Baldur demon single-handedly in the past has given him the confidence to take on the cult of the Absolute. Unfortunately, he didn't count upon losing most of his powers due to the damned tadpole, so now his first quest is to restore as many of his former powers as possible. And here we have GanTav the WhiTav. He is a sage, which gives him arcana and history proficiency. For his race, I think quite obviously, if we had Aasimar in the game, he would be an Aasimar, but I'm going to go with Tiefling. Kind of almost the opposite from Hell. In particular, a Zariel Tiefling. But from this he gets fire resistance, dark vision, strength and charisma, and also gets to learn thaumaturgy, which I think is a kind of fitting for him. There were times, especially in the films, where he did seemingly manifest supernatural power, especially when he's speaking to Bilbo in the Fellowship of the Ring. Gives him thaumaturgy, and he'll get some smites, which I think is kind of fitting. As for his appearance, I couldn't get rid of the horns. Maybe there are mods, but I haven't used any mods for appearance, so I can't get rid of the horns. Class, I'm trying to show off the Paladin still. His Oath of Devotion, which I think still makes sense for him in a way. You act with honor and virtue to protect the weak and pursue the greater good, which I think is very much within his theme, so we get all the things we get for a Devotion Paladin. Skills, I've taken up Intimidation and Persuasion. He is very good at speaking to people and persuading people. As for his abilities, this was quite hard because he's quite an amazing character. His Charisma could almost be 20 if I could have that from the start. I didn't want to give him any negative modifiers because that isn't really fitting. I've got a limited number of attribute points, ability points to give. If I could, I'd put Wisdom and Intelligence up higher. And I need some semblance of strength and dexterity though, otherwise he's just going to die in combat. So let's get into it. I'll be showing you the levels first, then the items, and then how to use him. At level 2, we get our casting, we get our level 1 spell slots, we get a fighting style. Now, none of these really fit in with him, sadly. So defense plus 1 armor class while wearing armor. This is probably what I'm going to go with. Dueling, he's not going to be using just one melee weapon. He's not using a two-handed weapon, and he's not using a shield, which is why I'm going to go with defense. As for these, we can obviously change these at will, but ones that I think are potentially suitable for GanTav the WhiTav would be Bless, Commands for sure, Cure Wounds, Divine Favor, I think so, Heroism, Protection from Evil and Good, and Shield of Faith. Pretty much just not these smites here and not Compelled Duel. But honestly, from reading the books and the films, could probably argue most of these one way or another. At level 3 he gets Divine Health, which prevents him from being diseased, and he gets Sacred Weapon. This is why he's going to have a high charisma and what he's going to use to help him do damage. Turn the Unholy, kind of fitting considering he's fought Baldur, or Balor as it would be in the Forgotten Realms really. Sanctuary, a unique spell currently to Oath of Devotion Paladin, so I'd hope this gets expanded upon release. And he always has Protection from Evil and Good prepared. Also, as a Zariel Tiefling, he gets Searing Smites, Legacy of Avernus. At level 4, he gets a Lay on Hands charge, an extra one, prepare some spells, and gets a feat. Now, I'm going to give him Dual Wielder. This is purely so that he can wield 2 weapons, one in each hand, because the weapons I want him to wield are not light. Also, it gives him some bonus armor class, which is kind of handy. And we get to level 5, he gets an extra level 1 spell slot, 2 level 2 spell slots, extra attack, access to these spells, and as a subclass he always has Lesser Restoration prepared, which is again kind of fitting I think. As Silence, also always prepared. As a Zariel Tiefling he gets Branding Smite. And as for the spells that he can prepare, I think the ones I've got currently are probably mostly quite fitting for him. Again, none of the smites. From the level 2 spells I've only picked up Aid and Magic Weapon. Magic Weapon here is just to make sure that he can actually hit with his weapon. Okay, time for his items, and some compromises have been made. Anyway, starting from the top, I didn't want to give him a helmet or even a hat, so I think the Warped Headband of Intellect is fitting enough. Now his armor. I thought long and hard about his armor. I couldn't find any armor that has anything white on it, and in fact this is about as much white as I could find on any single piece of armor, so I'm just going to leave him in his Scale Mail of Devotion. His necklace, give him guidance. I think he really does. In the films, it did help out people in like subtle ways. He's got the Ring of Fire because he does actually have a Ring of Fire in the stories. Guiding Light because we see him many times producing light, and this is one way for him to do it, and I think it's quite fitting. The Gloves of Flint and Steel kind of linking with the Ring of Fire, plus the fact that he does have Legacy of Avernus Searing Smite. the boots of speed because he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. So giving him extra movement on a bonus action is quite nice. I've picked up Fela Aluve. It's kind of seemingly the most magical longsword we can find. It doesn't have any particular enchantment apart from +1. There's no sword that is like Glamdring that Gandalf actually wields. And he's got Corellin's Grace. He's got a quarterstaff. This could have been any quarterstaff, to be honest. But, you know, Corellin approved of those who killed orcs, and Gandalf did plenty of that. I've also cheekily used Volo's Eye. It's not that I think he would use Volo's Eye, but his charisma would be high, I think. Would be very strong. How does he play? What we're going to try and do, is use magic weapon. Our strength is only 12. We need to boost our chances as much as possible. When he's somewhere dark, he will use light, providing light like he does. Now, magic weapon is concentration, which means he can't use Divine Favor at the same time. If for some reason magic weapon drops, then he'll probably use Divine Favor. And before combat starts, if possible, he will be using Sacred Weapon to add a +4 to his attack rolls, which will only be with the longsword. It doesn't actually apply to both weapons. And if he thinks it calls for it, he'll use command. Level 2 means he can actually affect 2 people. Let's show him fighting some evil things. Having vowed to kill the Duergar at the beach, here we are. He knows the battle is about to commence, so he will cast Sacred Weapon. Now, this only lasts 10 turns, so after casting it, he's going to jump straight in there. So here we are, first round of combat. We go last. He will charge in and start swinging. His main hand attack is with the longsword. We'll start with that. We'll turn dual wielding off. Make sure it's off by clicking this or pressing R. Oh, unlucky there. Order 2. And then he's got extra attack. Critical miss. Lovely stuff. And then offhand with the staff. Critical hit. He's got it set up, so he's using his smites. And he's nearly taken this guy down. He has now run out of level 2 spell slots, but we've still got level 1 spell slots for our smites. And that's generally how his turns will go. Now, the previous turn worked out where this Duergar cast Silence here and Getcole ran up this way. So here we go. And we're going to choose when to smite and when not to smite with our normal attacks. Get some damage going. And with the offhand attack, you can see there the chance to hit with the offhand attack was much less. And that's because the Sacred Weapon ability doesn't apply to the offhand. Now, it's kind of funny. It looks like he's wielding both the longsword and the quarterstaff in the same hand. If we just come here for a second, we've got Magic Weapon, which is why it's +1/+1. Light and Sacred Weapon there. Then on Corellin's Grace, there's nothing. No bonuses, no buffs. And that's just because of the way the game engine works. GanTav is quite happy to use Pommel Strike every now and again. It's not even that much less damage than the quarterstaff, plus he's got a better chance to hit. Obviously that didn't work, but that won't stop him. Hitting and smiting away. Gale was kind enough to put this one to sleep. And in fact, I'm going to turn off Divine Smite and Critical Hit here. I don't think it's necessary. We're just going to whack away. And miss there. But, like I said, the others are here to help. This will be easy enough. There we are. This time, in this fight, we've got Shadowheart with Glyph of Warding Sleep. Didn't quite put them all to sleep, but it was a good effort. So what's GanTav going to do in this situation? Well, there's only one thing to do. Jump across here and start wailing away. Now, ideally, we would have had this cast beforehand, so we have to wait until next round. He is now ready and waiting to smite everyone here. Now, unfortunately, GanTav can't do everything. Apparently, he's prone to be shoved off a boat, but that's what we have our party for, and he can be brought back. This wouldn't be the first time he's been brought back from the dead either. There he is. And like a good paladin, help her. He can heal himself. There we are. These Duergar are evil, deserve to be cleansed. Gonna head in here. Now we don't have magic weapon going, the spell, so we're gonna take a slightly different approach here. So in this situation where concentration isn't important for magic weapon, he's gonna start smiting. I'll leave that. Leave him burning. Gale hasted him. This is going to speed everything up. Oh, I think I forgot to turn off dual wielding after re-equipping my staff. Never mind. That only says Oath broken because I couldn't find the right dialogue to start this combat. These are obviously bad people. Gandalf will redeem himself, no need to worry about that. I mean, GanTav. Easy. So let me know what you think of GanTav the WhiTav. What changes would you make? Because I don't think this is a perfect representation of Gandalf here. I did make some sacrifices and compromises as such. And he doesn't often get to attack with his offhand. There are a lot of bonus action things here, like the smites, jumping, maybe hiding or shoving. I didn't even dip any weapons here. But what I do like is that his charisma is very high here. And we've got a +1 weapon with the magic weapon makes him actually quite likely to hit, even though his strength is only 12. If you've made it this far and feel like you want to become a member or join the Discord, do check the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider subscribing and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.